Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Butler, and you're listening to the Mighty Mommies Quick and Dirty Tips podcast, which will help make your life as a parent a little bit easier and a lot more fun. Welcome! Today's episode is number 382, 7 Creative Twists for Your Bedtime Story Routine, because there is nothing like an awesome bedtime story to lull your little one off to sleep. One of the most comforting rituals I had with my kids when they were much younger was our nighttime routine, particularly our bedtime stories. Once they were all done with baths and cozied up in their PJs, we'd gather on the family room couch and dig into the basket of books we kept strictly for nighty-night time. As much fun as this part of our evening routine was, when you've been at it for years and years, like anything else, it can get a little stale. Most nights, relaxing with the child's favorite bedtime story, think Goodnight Moon and Curious George, is just the right speed. But there are certainly lots of times when simply reading a book is just not enough for both your child and you. Mighty Mommy has 7 ways to shake it up and add a few fun, fresh twists to your bedtime stories. Tip number 1, Shadow Puppet Show. In addition to a great bedtime story, most kids are intrigued by shadows, so combining the two is a magical combination. If you want to create a fun twist to your story routine, dim the lights and combine a whimsical story with delightful and creative shadow puppets. If you're new to this, check out the link that I have on the Mighty Mommy page to a fun-filled YouTube video that will give you some ideas on the subject, as well as this instructional how-to book, Fun with Hand Shadows, written by Frank Jacobs. Tip number 2, dress up for the occasion. Whenever I really wanted to pull out all the stops for my kids during bedtime, I'd get silly and dress up with a funny hat, an outrageous mask, or something like that. And I was even known to don a costume once or twice. Now, mind you, as much fun as this was, my Paddington Bear ensemble was hands down the best. I had to be careful not to overstimulate them before bedtime. The goal was just to do something slightly crazy so they'd giggle and be entertained for 20 minutes. Go take a look in your closet or sift through that big trunk in your attic that has lots of fun costume props and accessories. Tonight, you might be able to surprise your little one with an added bonus during story time. And tip number 3, light it up. Even the most wonderful bedtime stories can use a little ambiance every now and again. One of kids' favorite mood settings was our tried-and-true lava lamp, the same one I had in college. It was always a big hit when the lava lamp made its presence during bedtime stories, and eventually several of my kids got their own lava lamps, a couple of which have taken theirs to college. My youngest daughter, now 10, preferred something a bit more racy, a disco ball. You can pick these fun lamps up at most discount stores or in your favorite lighting store. Tip number 4, give audiobooks a try. When I was growing up, books on tape were the rage. But now, thanks to audiobooks and companies like Audible.com, parents can sit and enjoy a fabulous story with their kids by downloading a book or a series of books right on their iPods, computers, or even by using an app on their smartphones. Audiobooks are also the perfect way to introduce chapter books to your kids at bedtime because you can pause the story and start right back up again the following evening. Tip number 5, create a storybook jar. Another twist on bedtime stories is to create a storybook jar. All you need is a clear glass jar, such as a canning jar, and fill it with surprise coupons for your kids. This is one of my kids' favorites, and they still talk about it today. The idea is to place Get To coupons in the jar so that your kids can pick one out and have something fun to look forward to the following day. The Get To coupons we used to place in our storybook jar were things like get to go out for an ice cream or get to bake cookies tomorrow with Mom. You can be as simple or extravagant as you want with these ideas. We used our storybook jar once a week. First, I'd read them a regular bedtime story, and after the story was done, they could pick one coupon out of the jar. This was always a big hit because it gave them something fun to look forward to, after a good night's sleep, of course. Tip number 6, read outdoors. One of my fondest memories growing up was when one of my parents would read to my siblings and I outdoors right before bedtime. Now, mind you, we did live in Puerto Rico for 5 years, between the ages of kindergarten and 4th grade. But even in the states, such as mine now, Rhode Island, there are plenty of mild months where this can work. For instance, we used to have an oversized hammock in our backyard. So every now and again, we'd herd the kids outside in their PJs and let them lie in the hammock for their bedtime story. The fresh air was calming and the change of scenery was always a big hit. And tip number 7, build a story for it. There's something about making homemade tents and forts that bring a child to near euphoria. Believe it or not, my now 16-year-old son still loves to create forts with pillows and other contraptions. Shh, you didn't hear that from me. Even just to sit inside and eat a bowl of ice cream, he still loves to build them. Without going overboard, unless you want to, let your kids create a cozy fort or a homemade tent that you can all get inside of and read your bedtime stories. Try constructing a tent with several chairs and a bed sheet. Line the floor of the tent with a blanket and some pillows. Turn out the lights, snuggle in, and read by flashlight. You might like it so much you can leave it set up for some fun playtime the following day. How do you make bedtime stories interesting in your home? Share your thoughts in the comments section at quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy or post your ideas on the Mighty Mommy Facebook page. You can also email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com. And don't forget to visit my family-friendly boards at pinterest.com/mightymommyqdt. Wishing you and your family many sweet dreams. Thanks for listening, and until next time, happy parenting.